everyone, Happy New Year. First video in English of the year 2018, and I hope that this year will be a year of freedom for you, a year away from cults. So, talking about cults, 52 loaded language terms that only Jehovah's Witnesses understand. I picked 52 of them. I know there are more. Loaded language is one of the techniques that cults use to indoctrinate their members. And guess what? The organization of Jehovah's Witnesses is full of loaded language terms. And like I said, I've picked 52 of them. I know there are more. So if you can think of any that's not in the list, please add them down below under this video. So here we go, 52 loaded language terms that Jehovah's Witnesses use all the time. Jehovah. The name Jehovah that Jehovah's Witnesses believe to be the name of God is actually not the name of the God of the Bible. It's a made-up name that Jehovah's Witnesses took to identify themselves with. As a matter of fact, they have replaced the word God with the word Jehovah. Jehovah's Witnesses rarely use the word God to speak of God. They prefer using Jehovah. Kingdom Hall. You do not go to church when you're Jehovah's Witness. You go to the Kingdom Hall. Thus, this is also a word that's part of the loaded language of this specific group. The good news. What Jehovah's Witnesses call the good news is the message that they preach to people. But remember that the good news includes the destruction of billions of people in the process. The Watchtower and Awake magazines. For the typical Jehovah's Witness, even though they may deny it, they do value the information in the Watchtower magazine especially more than they value the information in the Bible. If you don't believe me, just test a Jehovah's Witness with the Bible against what's in their Watchtower magazine, and you'll see what happens. The Watchtower Study. As a matter of fact, the Watchtower Study is supposed to be the study of the Bible, but it's really not. It's really what its name indicates. It's the Watchtower Study. Memorial. Jehovah's Witnesses use this word in two different circumstances. First of all, the commemoration of Christ's Last Supper. They call it the memorial. But also when you die as a Jehovah's Witness, you don't have funerals. You have a memorial. Both instances make this term, memorial, part of the loaded language of Jehovah's Witnesses. Torture stake. Jehovah's Witnesses persist on believing and saying that Christ never died on a cross, but died on a torture stake. And they are the only so-called Christian religion that use the word or term torture stake instead of cross. True Christians, and that's how Jehovah's Witnesses refer to themselves. They consider that all other Christians are false Christians and they are the only true Christians. The irony to this is that when you dig a little bit deeper into the beliefs of Jehovah's Witnesses, you realize that they are actually not Christians at all. The world. Jehovah's Witnesses consider themselves no part of the world. The world is a pejorative term in the mouth of a Jehovah's Witness. Worldly people. Same thing with worldly people. It's a pejorative term in the mind of a Jehovah's Witness. A worldly person is anyone who is not a Jehovah's Witness, which will be destroyed by their God Jehovah at Armageddon, unless they become a Jehovah's Witness before then. The truth is Jehovah's Witnesses' religion. However, what many Jehovah's Witnesses don't realize, don't know, it's that other cults refer to their religion as the truth as well. Brothers, sisters, and the friends. How Jehovah's Witnesses refer to their co-believers. However, it's to be noted that the term the friends is used in the United States or in the English language more than it is used in other languages, which I do not know any equivalent for the term the friends that is used a whole lot in the United States, for example. Apostate, someone who has left the organization of Jehovah's Witnesses and openly says that they do not believe in the teaching of their former religion anymore. In the mind of a Jehovah's Witness, an apostate is only someone who speaks against their religion, basically. But as far as the dictionary says, an apostate is simply a person who renounces a religious or political belief or principle. So, according to the definition of the dictionary, many Jehovah's Witnesses who have left their former religion to become a Jehovah's Witness are simply apostates. Talk. Jehovah's Witnesses do not listen to a sermon within their religion. No. They listen to the talk. Ransom Sacrifice. Ransom sacrifice is the term that Jehovah's Witnesses use to talk about the crucifixion of Jesus Christ. Since they don't believe he died on a cross, they do not use crucifixion, but use the term ransom sacrifice. System of things. The system of things for Jehovah's Witnesses is the world as it is today. They call it this system of things. Waiting on Jehovah. This is a term that Jehovah's Witnesses love to use when there is an issue within their members or religion that they can't or don't want to fix. They even use this term when it comes to pedophiles in their religion. Rather than calling the authorities, they prefer to wait on Jehovah. Field service. This is a term you'll probably hear only within Jehovah's Witnesses. To go in field service just means to go preaching. The kingdom ministry, or the ministry for short, this refers to their preaching activities as well. When Jehovah's Witnesses refer to the ministry, it means that they are speaking of their preaching activity. Assembly. You will hear Jehovah's Witnesses use the term going to the assembly. Assemblies are big regional gatherings of several congregations, churches, and they have 3 of such assemblies per year. The other sheep. For Jehovah's Witnesses, there are 2 groups of people within their religion. The ones who go to heaven, which supposedly number 144,000, and the other sheep, also called the great crowd, which refer to the group of people who are not going to heaven but live on the paradise earth. The 144,000. The small group of people who are destined to heaven rather than the paradise earth. This small group of people is handpicked by Jehovah. Armageddon. The war of Jehovah, when he will destroy pretty much all mankind on earth except for most Jehovah's Witnesses. The society. The society refers to the organization of Jehovah's Witnesses. It was used in the past more than it is today. The organization. The organization is the same term as the society. It has the same meaning. It's simply used more often today than it was in the past. But if you refer to the society or the organization, Jehovah's Witnesses will totally understand what you're talking about. The governing body, the group of men that is taking the lead among Jehovah's Witnesses, taking the lead of the organization of Jehovah's Witnesses. There are presently 7 of them. Elders are the leaders of a congregation. Congregation is the term for church in Jehovah's Witnesses world. The indoctrination of a Jehovah's Witness is such that even when a crime is committed, for example, if they find out that their child has been abused by a pedophile, they may call the elders instead of calling the police. Ministerial Servant. Ministerial servants are apprentice elders. Overseer. Overseers are elders who are overseeing several congregations. An overseer is above an elder. The Anointed Class. The Anointed Class is the 144,000 Jehovah's Witnesses that will go to heaven rather than live on the paradise earth. The Arrangement. The arrangement is basically the rules under which the organization of Jehovah's Witnesses is leading the rank and file under. Publisher. A publisher is each individual member of the congregation of Jehovah's Witnesses. More specifically, it's an active Jehovah's Witness, someone who goes in service preaching every month. Field service. Field service refers to the preaching work. Jehovah's Witnesses use the term going in field service, meaning going to preach. Inactive Publisher. An inactive publisher is a Jehovah's Witness who doesn't go in the field service, meaning who doesn't go to preach. A Jehovah's Witness that doesn't preach is called an inactive publisher. Pioneer or regular pioneer, which is the same thing. It's a Jehovah's Witness who preach a minimum of 70 hours per month. It is some type of a title and some type of a privilege for a Jehovah's Witness. Back in the days, a regular pioneer had to preach 90 hours per month. It is now down to 70 hours per month. Auxiliary pioneer. An auxiliary pioneer, unlike a regular pioneer, doesn't have to commit every month out of the year. They can choose to auxiliary pioneer 1 month out of the year, 3 months out of the year. It's up to them. An auxiliary pioneer needs to report 30 to 50 hours the month they decide to auxiliary pioneer. Back in the days, it was 60 hours. Return visit. A return visit is the second or following calls that a Jehovah's Witness is going to make on someone who has accepted their literature, in the hope of starting a Bible study with that person. New light. New light among Jehovah's Witnesses refers to their latest supposedly understanding of a certain part of the Bible that used to be understood differently. The leadership of Jehovah's Witnesses never make false prophecies, you know. It's just that the light is getting brighter, which is another term for their new light. Independent thinking. Thinking for yourself, having your own ideas about things, is called independent thinking in Jehovah's Witnesses world. And it's not a good thing. It is looked down upon. To give a witness. To give a witness means to preach the religion of Jehovah's Witnesses to someone who is not a Jehovah's Witness. Shepherding call. A shepherding call is a visit made by the elders of the congregation, generally two of them, to another member of the congregation to supposedly encourage them in the faith. Spiritually strong. Someone spiritually strong among Jehovah's Witnesses is basically someone who adheres to all the religion's commands blindly. The more indoctrinated you are, the more likely you are going to be considered spiritually strong. Spiritually weak. Well, the more a Jehovah's Witness is going to live on his own accord, the more likely he is going to be considered spiritually weak. If he doesn't attend meetings regularly, if he doesn't preach regularly, or even comment at meetings regularly, he will be considered spiritually weak. A spiritual brother or a spiritual sister. That's how a Jehovah's Witness will refer to another Jehovah's Witness that is considered spiritual according to the criteria just mentioned above. The great crowd. The great crowd is all Jehovah's Witnesses who are not part of the 144,000 members that will go to heaven. The great crowd is made of those who are saved at Armageddon and will live on the paradise earth. The little flock. Well, the little flock is the 144,000 that will go to heaven when they die, rather than living on the paradise earth with the great crowd. Paradise earth. Paradise earth is where the saved Jehovah's Witnesses will live after Armageddon. The new system. The new system is another term for paradise earth, is the new world where Jehovah's Witnesses that will be saved after Armageddon will live. Judicial Committee. A judicial committee is a meeting led by 3 elders of the congregation where an individual will be heard and judged on the spot. Judicial committees have been secret for many years until recently, when some Jehovah's Witnesses who have been judged in such committees have decided to record them secretly and then post them on YouTube. You can see many judicial committees secretly recorded on YouTube. On reproof. Being on reproof is someone who is not excommunicated but has some type of privilege restrictions, such as can't give comments at meetings. However, no matter how reproofed you are, unless you are excommunicated, you can go door to door. It's such a privilege. As a matter of fact, you have to. Yes, indeed. Interestingly, even if you are on reproof, you have to go door to door still. Bad association. A bad association is anyone out or even in the religion that is not viewed as spiritual according to the doctrines of Jehovah's Witnesses. And finally, shunning, a term that they are practicing more than they are speaking about. Shunning is the practice of ostracism that Jehovah's Witnesses practice against anyone who has left the organization for any reason. Shunning even applies to close family members. That's it for today. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you are still one of Jehovah's Witnesses, I hope that every time you hear one of such terms, you'll remember that they are part of the loaded language terms that the organization of Jehovah's Witnesses wants you to use to be ever more so indoctrinated. Thank you for watching. Please like the video, share it, and I'll see you on my next video. Bye-bye now.